Caroline Criminose.
And I'm Esther Guevara. Coming up on today's show,
The new tardy system is finding additional use for next week's homecoming dance. Girls volleyball takes on the district.
and how there might be unrealized opportunity for you to get involved with sports.
Stay tuned, you're watching WROR-TV. Hey Oviedo, it's Caroline.
Hey Oviedo, I'm Peyton Kane.
Oviedo, I'm Kaden Martin.
Hey Oviedo, it's Deanna with today. And this is your main 5 from Building 5.
Good morning, Oviedo. It's your first edition of WROR-TV Weekly in the second quarter. Today is October 20th, 2023.
And when we return on Monday, it will be the start of homecoming week. Definitely a very exciting time of year.
But if you haven't purchased a ticket yet, you definitely want to make sure you are aware of how Minga is playing a role.
Minga is the new tardy system being implemented this year, but it's playing a much bigger role than that. Reporter Madison Rummel has more.
It happens sometimes a day. Once the tardy bell rings, classroom doors are closed and locked, and any student left outside must arrive with a tardy pass. And this year, there's a new application in town.
Hero Pass was a paper pass. We had to either go down to discipline or we went to one of the security guards that were on the carts. And they had this little, I'm going to call it a machine because I don't know what it was called. And you would put your number in and it would give you a tardy pass to go back to your class.
Hi, can I see your Minga ID?
But now, instead of waiting on for that paper to print out, students are being assigned a digital pass on a platform called Minga. On its website, Minga labels itself as a campus management platform with hall passes, student IDs, and even check-in.
Minga encompasses digital ID and a lot of other things in one platform. So when we use digital ID, we also had to use a different platform for tardies. Now we've got it all combined in one platform, which is Minga, and it's easier for the students to use one system as opposed to a few different ones.
The district cites concerns about tardy heroes' ability to keep information secure as the reason to switch to Minga.
The way it works in a school system for anything we use like software, it has to be bid. And then the district office approves what software platforms we can use.
Minga is a much more secure platform to keep student information and make sure that students are not being tracked. So the main reason why the county made this decision was to keep our information secure.
And security is the name of the game, as Minga has digital stickers to indicate whether a student is allowed to leave campus partway through the day. And one ticket, please, will be used for checking students in for events like next week's homecoming.
We did use digital IDs last year, but we didn't have the ability to scan. We have the ability to simply scan you in and it'll make the process much quicker.
But the process may not necessarily be any quicker for teachers.
And sometimes if it's not working on the student's phone or if they don't have Minga on their phone, you then have to go check the dashboard. So it is a little bit more comprehensive, but it's not difficult. It's just time consuming is the main thing.
It's a learning curve for staff and for students. So before we roll it out to you, we have to understand how to use the platform as staff.
But for the most part, students are getting the hang of it.
Some of my friends also who don't really care, they're fine with either systems. They both function and they do what they need to do.
And as the kinks are smooth, time will tell how Minga stacks up. For WROR-TV, I'm Madison Rummel.
The talent show is next Tuesday at 7 p.m. in the auditorium. Tickets are $5 to attend.
And we have the Powder Puff game next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Tickets are $5.
The closest mankind has ever gotten to magic is when the lights go down and the silver screen comes to life. 2023 marks 150 years since Edward Muybridge captured the first moving image. And ever since, it's taken us to the far corners of the world, introduced us to unforgettable characters, and captivated our imaginations. This year, the magic of the movies comes home.
Several sports celebrated senior night.
And girls volleyball played for the district championship.
Let's get a recap of the week in our O-Town Sports Report.
Hey Oviedo, I'm Caden with your O-Town update for October 20th. A number of fall sports teams finished up the regular season this week. Boys golf beat Lake Brantley in a squeaker on senior night 160-162 to end head-to-head play at 10-3-1 for the season. Trey Dom led the Lions with a 39. Both boys and girls bowling fell to Haggerty to wrap their seasons with a record of 11-5 and 10-6 respectively. The district tournament takes place for both teams next week. Speaking of districts, the football team is currently in the middle of a stretch of 4 straight district games. The second happened last week against Lake Howell. Facing a third down on the first possession of the game, Lake Howell QB Luke Barhorst fumbles the football on a sack by Aiden Mahaffey, and Bryson Blandford jumps on the loose ball. Later in the first quarter, already up 7-0, the Lions would set up this screen pass to Kevin Watson, who would go 35 yards to the house and put the Lions up by 2 touchdowns. The Lions would dominate on defense, shutting out the Silverhawks in the first quarter. On to the second quarter, where Jackson Latour would hit Marquette Williams to put the Lions up 21-0. That proved to be the game-winning score, as Lake Howell would go on to only score 14. With the win, the Lions are 2-0 in district play and can clinch the district with a win on the road at Lyman tonight. But while football's district fate has yet to be decided, volleyball's was decided last night right here in the RWL gym. On Thursday, October 19th, Winter Springs faced Oviedo for the district title. Despite being the away team, the Bears certainly brought a crowd. The Lions' physicality was evident early on, with this point from Olivia Clemmings giving them a 3-0 lead. Later in the set, Kelly O'Brien extended the lead by double digits with this kill. Then Riley Yarborough would finish the first set 25-13 with yet another kill. The Lions jumped up to a lead in the second set, only to see Winter Springs storm back and tie it up at 7-7. But Oviedo then went on to score a 6-point run and would prove to be too much. The Bears would go on to win the third set before the Lions finished them off for a 3-1 victory and the district crown. The team now waits to find out their opponent for the first round of regionals next week. That's it for O-Town. We'll head back out to Caroline and Esther.
Finally, today, sports play a major role for some on campus.
But others may not necessarily see themselves as athletes, or perhaps they don't expect to make a team.
Seeking a spot on a team can be a daunting task, even more so if it's a sport you've never played in an official capacity.
But one team gearing up for the winter season doesn't want that to be a roadblock for you. Reporter Maddie Howard explains.
It's a situation that any aspiring athlete fears, getting cut from team tryouts.
In 6th grade, I tried out for the volleyball team, and it was a pretty sad experience because I got cut from the team and everybody kept telling me I was good and everything, but when I tried out, to see my friends move on and make the team and I didn't.
And not making the team in high school can be even more devastating as the window for future opportunities to play dwindles.
Now that I'm a sophomore, and if I would get cut from a team, I would only have 2 years left, and so I think for college, if I would get cut right now, I wouldn't keep continuing on.
But some athletes in search of prospect find an unexpected landing spot.
My freshman year, if you told me that I'd be wrestling, I probably would have looked at you a little funny at first. Wrestling definitely was not the first thing that came to my mind, especially as a girl.
I don't know. I felt like I had to do something. I felt like I had to do a sport. I had to, in my high school career, I had to do something. It kind of gave me this I should give this a try. This seems really fun.
I wanted to try something new, and I was like, you know what? It's high school. Why not?
The wrestling team refers to itself as a no-cut sport, meaning there's a spot for you, if you can tough it out.
And even in years that we've had 80 kids come out, which has been a while since that's happened, we've been able to figure out the practice schedule where some kids go outside of the room for workouts while the other kids stay in the room.
I feel like the fact that it was a come and try, come and do it, you're not going to get kicked off, was a lot nicer, especially to a freshman. It was very nice to have kind of an open space and a space where I knew I could grow and they would help me grow.
And that pathway to involvement with a sport can lead to certain benefits, not only in physical fitness, but in professional settings as well.
Joining a sport really helps you with communication and leadership, especially when you're out and you need to communicate with people. Like, let's say for soccer, you would have to pass the ball, or like if you want to be a goalie, you would have to communicate with your team.
Like, there's this old saying from very famous, one of the most famous American wrestlers of all time, Dan Gable, that says once you've wrestled, everything else in life is easy. So I would say the big benefit is challenging yourself.
That personal growth is amplified by the community and the team touts.
And yeah, a few of them may seem weird and weird looking, and we're definitely going to be smelly because we work hard, but after a while, like, we do team dinners, we do holiday things, and you really get to know everyone on a different basis because of how much you are together. Hearing that one very loud person yell out, "It's not that bad," sometimes is what gets you through that last sprint.
As tryouts approach, the team hopes to get a few unsuspecting people through that last sprint this season. For WROR-TV, I'm Maddie Howard.
That's it for this week, Oviedo.
Before we go, take a look at this quick reminder of next week's dress-up days.
Have a great weekend. We'll all pose for the paparazzi on Monday. And as always, go Lions!